Awesome. Well, welcome everyone to tonight's call. And if you're on with us live, congratulations for taking a few minutes and hopping on. If you're watching this recording, it's probably because you are excited about joining our focus group or someone cared enough to share it with you. Tonight, we are going to be sharing some inspiration with you, some information about our program, and then some prep for our 30-day focus group. So we're going to get started. Let me get the slide here. So we literally know that health is ever evolving, right? And we help people create health all the time. And we do focus groups periodically because it is a great reason to come together in community and have that support and really help us as we are on the journey to long-term health, take it to that next level. So that's really what we're going to do tonight. So whether you've done several focus groups with us in the past, we're headed into our third one just this year, or you are brand new and you're tuning in because you want to learn a little bit more about our community, our philosophy of health, and a little more about this focus group that we're planning. Welcome. Maybe you're a health coach on the line and you have invited people along with you on your journey to health and you've got people joining in, but we just want to welcome you. And a major component of what we do is about community and support, and it's all about long-term health. So I'm going to kick us off tonight. My name's Dawn Chow. I'm a certified health coach, and as you can see, a registered nurse as well. These are pictures of my story, and just, you know, I could go into detail, but the bottom line is I lost 45 pounds about 7 years ago. It radically changed my health and my family's health. That's a picture of my father who lost 127 pounds. Got off all of his medications, and then of course my husband. So that's just a little bit about my health and my journey. And I wanted to turn it over to my amazing co-host tonight, Amber. And she's joining us from Boise, Idaho, and someone who's been a very good friend for over a decade. And, you know, maybe you're here because you are craving that community, but I have to say, Amber's going to share a little bit of her story, but she was kind of a go-it-alone girl. So until she learned about this community and our program and really kind of what this is all about. So Amber, I'm going to turn it over to you to share your story and then take us through some of the stories that we have for people tonight.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Dawn. As you can tell, Dawn and I are friends in real life because we're in a picture together on my slide here. It's an honor being on this call, and I love our focus groups because even though I've been on my health journey on this program for 3 years now, it's a good opportunity for me to sort of reach for the next level. So to go back in time a little bit to tell you where I was at, the picture of me in the striped shirt is right after I had our first child, our daughter, and she's now 4 years old. But back when she was a year old, my husband was not happy with where his health was at. And he came home one day and decided he needed to do something different. Well, I thought I was fine, but I decided I probably should jump on with him because I knew that he probably wouldn't be successful without my help. And that was really because we had had some past experiences and other things that hadn't worked. So jumped on program with him, started coaching him. He's my first client actually, and started to see really rapid change happening. And so fast forward, I lost 25 pounds. I maintained that for a year. And really the only person I let support me on that journey besides my husband was Dawn, my coach. I didn't get on to any kind of community-oriented things because I truly thought I could do all of it alone. And in fact, if Dawn wasn't my really good friend, I probably wouldn't have let her help me either. So I do have kind of a lone wolf mentality that I talk about a lot, but I started to change because after I maintained for almost a year, I got pregnant with our son. And I knew that I wanted my pregnancy to be different. And so what I started to do is reach out to people in our healthy community for guidance on how to have a healthier pregnancy, how to make that go a little different than the first time. So got through pregnancy and then lost 35 pounds on the back end and been maintaining that for about a year now. And I lost my weight on the second time on our Nursing Moms plan, which is really cool. So was able to still nurse my son and continue that, which was one of my goals as a parent. So that's sort of my story. But, you know, these focus groups are amazing because most of us don't have a lot of healthy people in our tangible lives. And so this is a great opportunity for all of us to come together, even though it's virtually, to support each other and cheer each other on whatever that next step is in your health. So That's enough about me. I'm so excited about the two people who are going to be speaking tonight. So the first person I want to bring on is someone that's part of our Healthy Facebook community. I've never met him in real life, but I'm probably one of his biggest fans. This is Alan Christensen. So I just want to pause for a moment so you can take a look at his pictures. Alan and his wife have lost a lot of weight together, but what I want Alan to come on and chat with you about is to share where he was at and really what's changed, because he's down over 200 pounds now. So Alan, are you here with us tonight?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. It's so good to see you. So would you just share a little bit about what's different in your life, kind of where you're at and what's different?
Well, what's different is, I have, energy to play with my kids. We do family activities, playing soccer, basketball, going on family walks. I gone a few sizes down as far as for pants and shirts, which is pretty cool. And anyways, it's just it's pretty incredible. When I first started my journey, I took naps all the time. I had no energy, and I gave everything to my job, and I had nothing left for my family. And when I first got my Fitbit, I could only do 5,000 steps on a really good day, and that was really pushing myself. And 200 plus pounds later, now I'm I can do over 20,000 steps pretty easily. It's completely changed my life, and with these focus groups, it really helped me, keep focused on my health, keep me plugged in, kept my goals, relevant to me, helped keep me inspired, and it really kept me motivated to, keep taking those steps, keep losing the weight, and yeah, it's been pretty amazing.
It's incredible just seeing the difference in your demeanor in your photos that are on the screen here. You are so inspiring, and not all of us have 200 pounds to lose, but we all are on our own journey. And what I really love about what you share with our community is you share the honest truth. You share the ups and the downs and everything in between, and it's a real thing. And that's what I love about just being a part of community with you, is knowing that we're on the same path. Even though I didn't have 200 pounds to lose, we go through a lot of the same challenges. So thank you so much for sharing. You're so wonderfully inspiring, Al.
Thank you.
So the next person that I want to bring on tonight is a good friend of mine. This is Kristen. And Kristen and I worked together in my past career, because I'm now coach full-time. She's somebody that I have always just really respected, because she's the type of person that no matter what she puts her mind to, she will get after it. And without sharing too much of her story and giving it away, Kristen has always been a very fit person. She loves fitness. She's super active, but she had kind of a major thing happen in her life in the last year that sort of turned her world upside down. And it changed the way that she looked at health. So Kristen, I would love for you to jump on and kind of share with everybody what that change was and what's happened for you in the last 8 weeks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amber and Dawn, for letting me tell this story. Can you guys all hear me? Just to make sure. I was super fit. I should say in my head, I thought I was super fit. And I did every activity, high intensity workouts. I love posting it on Instagram. And in November, I went through probably one of the toughest times in my life. And I ruptured my left Achilles heel and had surgery that same day. And I remember the doctor looking at me and saying, or the surgeon looking at me and saying, I probably would never do the things that I could do again. And I was determined to prove him wrong. But as you go through a very dark journey that you don't realize what those feelings you get inside, you can't work out without an Achilles. So I didn't have good eating habits, and it wasn't until you can't work out that you realize you don't have good eating habits. So I gained a lot of weight fast. And I didn't have any self-control to, in that moment, to not eat all my Twizzlers, to not eat all these things. And I tell people this and they're like, you're so healthy. You wouldn't eat Twizzlers. And it was tough. So I luckily, I was a goat alone, just like Amber. And I thankfully had Amber. We were still close, and I watched her journey as she lost weight. And a part of me was like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And so I reached out to her, and she told me the program. And in my head was, I think I can do eat 6 times a day. And, I kind of felt like I've been on previous programs. I'll just go back to it. And I told her, no, don't worry about it. And about 2 weeks later, I was back to late night wine drinkings and the ordering food. Living in New York City, it's super easy to get food to you in 30 minutes or less. So I realized I was not happy. When I was able to start working out again, I couldn't do the things I could. And I knew that it wasn't just my Achilles. It was because I gained a lot more weight on me. And I had hit a part on the scale that I'd never hit before. So reached back out to Amber and I said I was ready. And I have now, today is a milestone. Today I am down 20 pounds. And I, just like Alan, have so much more energy. I have a stressful job, and at the end of the days where I'd go crazy, I'm now very excited about, whatever is coming at me and knowing how to deal with it. But the program has taught me how to understand my health in a totally different way. And I'm thankful that I had someone that is a coach. And, the go-it-aloners and sharing your stories. I mean, I give Alan so much credit for sharing his story on Facebook that it kind of, encouraged me to, part of the group, to share my story. And I know it's tough, but the support group, I realized that my story is inspiring other people, but other people's stories were inspiring me. So that's kind of my story.
Oh my goodness, Kristen, you said so many amazing things. Gosh, I think one thing that I love that you pointed out is that we all have our stuff, right? Like we all have those Twizzlers that we want to hide somewhere in our house, and the wonderful thing about our community is that we can work through all that together. And it's great to know that we're not the only ones. And so anyway, I just thank you. I know it wasn't easy probably to share the depths of your heart like that, but I'm so glad that you did. I'm just, the chats, like people are just blowing up the chat because it is so cool to hear a different perspective, because it is important for us to know that healthy movement isn't the only way to be healthy. So thank you again for sharing. So I really want to you heard some really great stories about different transformations and things that people have been through, but I want to just take a moment and ask you, as you're looking at this green dot, just for a second, just close your eyes for me. Okay, so everybody close your eyes, and I can see your faces, so I'm going to know if you're not closing your eyes. So close your eyes for a second, and I want you to just think about where, we're looking at coming up on this focus group. Where do you want to be in the next 30 days? So if there were no constraints and anything was possible, what would your life be like in the next 30 days? Okay, what about the next 60 days? 90 days, by the end of summer, how would life be different for you? Because you just saw that for people who really map out what those goals are, change is possible. And that's really, really a wonderful thing. So think about where you want to be and what your goals are. And, the great thing about our program is that we provide what we call predictable transformations. So, me and Kristen and Alan and Dawn are not the only people that have had success through these focus groups and through our program. But really, we have lots and lots of people who have had major changes happen. So you might even recognize some of these people on the screens. I just want to take a moment so you can see who they are. But these are all people that are part of our healthy community. And I know that because there's somebody actually in the next set of pictures here, right in the middle of the screen, is a dear friend of mine, Allison. And one of my pictures, I had that picture in like that lacy dress. So I got to wear this fantastic dress to her wedding. That's her picture in the middle of the screen there. And that was just a few months ago that I was at her wedding. So she has lost a ton of weight and maintained. These are real people with real hearts, with real goals. You know, Sarah down in the left-hand corner, also huge inspiration. She's a mama. You know, Gina, I mean, you know, Leanne, like this is a community of people, and we are all working together. So I'm sure you're probably curious, if you're not already doing our program, kind of what we're all about and how this works. So I want to kick it back over to Dawn to cover what Optavia is and what this focus group is going to be focused on.
Awesome, Amber. Oh my gosh, I could listen to stories like that all day. And what I love is that we just picked a few, and as you can see from the slides, there's thousands of stories. And so I just want to pop in and just, you know, really for a moment share a little bit about what we believe in Optavia, because we really believe in sustainability, you know, a supportive community, as you can tell, everyone's commenting about that, and education. It's so much more than just weight loss, as you can tell from the stories. But we really believe in easy, balanced nutrition, fueling our bodies 6 times a day, like Kristen was sharing, things that sometimes people do, but it's, you know, having it be simple and right there for us, really so that it can support our optimal health in our body and our mind and our finances. It's simple, delivered to your home, really helps people have high energy, like you heard Amber and Alan and Kristen talk about, and low hunger, which is important, right? So we don't get those cravings. It's perfectly balanced macronutrients. We're going to hear from Brad and Casey, one of our personal trainers, here in a moment about that, just how important nutrition is, but really important that it's fully fortified with all of our vitamins, minerals. It's even high in vitamin D, just like the new FDA regulations say. Probiotics in there for gut health, and really important that it's all natural. And we really believe that health should be something that everyone can access. So it's important that it's cost neutral, and that really all of our nutrition plans are very simple so that they can support you on your health goals, no matter what they are. And we don't want you to wonder whether the program will work for you. I mean, it's predictable. We have predictable transformations, which you could see all of those pictures. And so the process is simple, and you just find that plan that fits best for you. A little bit about our nutrition plans. We have lots of fuelings, like over 90. They're amazing. So you're never going to get bored. We can navigate any allergy out there, anything that we need to navigate around. And then the lean and green meal, that's something, you know, we really believe that, you know, we should be able to cook our own or get it out at a restaurant, but healthy, simple meals. They don't take hours to prepare. We have just recipe after recipe in our support pages on Facebook. And so that's one of the things that we're really going to dive into during this focus group is really the ability to have healthy, fun, nutritious meals that the whole family can enjoy. And it's not going to take a ton of time. The thing that we are founded in are 4 components. So you'll have a health coach. That's probably someone who invited you to listen to this call. They're going to be there to walk alongside you, to support you, to guide you to the tools. We have a habits of health system. So all of the knowledge and the things that we're going to be sharing over the next 30 days in our focus group are going to come from that habits of health system. That's all peer-reviewed, awesome research written by a critical care physician, Dr. Ray. We have an amazing community. We've been talking about that all evening. If you aren't already in one of our amazing support pages, you will be, and that's going to be a great support for you. And then, of course, our fuelings. So that's really where you're going to find the right program to fit your goals. And I want to kick it over to Brad and Casey next to share about the focus group and some details of what's going to be coming up in the next 30 days for that.
Awesome, Dawn. Everyone, great stories tonight. I personally want to welcome everyone that's on the call tonight. I was looking at the chat through this process. My name is Brad Miller. I'm a certified health coach. It's so cool watching these stories here tonight because I can relate to so many of them and everything you guys shared in the chat. My family started this program, and my mom started it. And because of that decision, my whole family's lost over 2,000 pounds. And more than losing 2,000 pounds as a family, we've totally changed our health. Like, we've become healthy. And it's been, like they were talking about, predictable. I myself lost my weight. I lost over 30 pounds 8 years ago. And like everyone was talking about here tonight, whether you're experienced or you've done a few of these focus groups, or even if you've been, Dawn, you've been on this journey with me. You were one of my first clients that I worked with. or you're brand new, like we just want to welcome you and show you that health is possible for you. Because I know a lot of people here are just tuning in to get information for the first time. If some of you know this and you're like, yes, rock on, like when's the next focus group? I'm ready to take it to the next level, because that's what we help people do. So the last focus group that we did, we do them periodically. Again, we don't just do focus groups, but it's like Amber was talking about tonight. We love community. Like Kristen said, we learn from each other. Like Alan pointed out, we can draw from anybody's inspiration wherever they're at. So we do them because why not? Like health is ever evolving. So we just take time to be like, to reset, to say, what would you like to work on? And to focus basically on not a start, but not a finish. It's a restart to whatever you want to focus on in a season, because health never ends. That's actually why we personally don't do challenges, if you're wondering if this is a challenge. So these will all be done in our support groups. We have Facebook support groups. If you're in them, for the experienced people. If you're brand new looking at this, that will help you. That'll help you get that. You'll help understand about that. But the last one that we did, the last few, we focused more on just like that mind shift. So many of you guys are probably watching like Dawn or Amber or Kristen or Alan and being like, how do they do that? How do they make those shifts? Like that seems so impossible for me. I think Tammy in the chat was saying, I have such a hard time getting all my meals in during the day and remembering to eat. Whatever your bugaboo is we can help people with that. And we do help people with that. That's what our program is all about. So in this focus group, actually, let me recap. Last focus group, we focused on all those components that make that difference, that mind shift, so that you can feel like you can tangibly accomplish that with all the components of the program that Don went over. This one, and now that we've had so many breakthroughs in that last topic, and I've had so many people be like, I get it now. That's me. I get what was holding me back. And just the perspective mind shift was so big for them during that season. And just the ability to sit down and focus and learn alongside people that were making the same shifts were huge for them. So this one, we're going to go more on practical nutritional science information, because every story you heard tonight is based on science, is based on nutritional facts, and they're predictable. So, but the thing is, and this is actually, guys, I'm like nerdy when it comes to this stuff. So when I started learning about this stuff, I was like, that makes so much sense. I remember being in fat burning on week 2 of program and reading Dr. Ace Habits Health and being like, that is how I felt my entire life. And now I understand why I was stuck in this cycle and going back and forth. And now that makes sense on why my entire family was the way that they were and how I could stop doing that. And through this process, we have people that have just learned to accomplish health and help people just do the same thing they've done. And we have experts that have seen what we do and are like, that's everything I've spent my entire life studying, and I see how you guys help people do it. So we're going to, during this focus group, we're going to lean on that expertise of people that have been doing this for years and people that have extensive backgrounds on this subject, and going really into the science of understanding why these predictable transformations happen. So next week is when we're going to start our preparation. So we're going to really encourage everyone to get some body composition done and measuring their measurements, because we're going to go over that information. You're going to learn a ton about that. Week 1 is going to be about science and the science of nutrition, and basically understanding the fat burning stage, how that's different, why it's a buzzword, and why it works, all of those things. Week number 2 is going to be the science of exercise and basically fat loss and how that plays a role in this. Hopefully what you guys realize through this, because I remember this was me, the scale tends to rule your life a little bit when you're focused on weight loss. But really, when you start to own your health, the scale could be like the least thing you focus on. And I know some of you are like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. If you tune into this process, you will really get that. And especially when you're focusing on your nutrition at high levels, the scale is really like the last thing you want to pay attention to. And we're going to really help you understand that through this process. And if you're nerdy like me, you're going to love that and love how people start to figure this out. We're going to start using like the science of tracking our nutrition, how that works. Week 4, we're going to go over the X factors. Like many of you guys don't know, like how big sleep plays in this process, hydration, stress relief, all that other stuff that you're like, oh, I didn't even think that played a factor in my health. We're going to cover that stuff. And then week number 5 is the science of success, like how to, looking at what you accomplished and what we're doing long-term. And Don and I kind of had a little joke, because also this is all rooted in science and statistics. A lot of you guys won't make it to that last call that are really interested in doing that. So my personal challenge, like the short challenge, is I challenge you guys all to make it every single week on these calls and learn about this yourself. Root that and have those breakthroughs from planting yourself and building habits. So that's what we're going to cover. We're going to do it in one call a week. On Sundays, they'll be posted. They'll be short. And then basically, like Dawn was talking about, the Facebook groups, that's where we will be able to expand on what you guys are learning, sharing tips back and forth, and just one topic a week so you can just keep building on what you're doing while you're focusing on the things that matter most to you. So, Dawn, I wanted to bring Casey on for a second because he's going to be one of the main people we lean on. And I'm not going to give him too much of an introduction. He can kind of speak for himself, but Casey has helped me a ton on this, and he is an expert in this area. He's going to be one of the people that helps guide us most through this process. So, Casey, I thought you'd come on a little bit for a second tonight and kind of give people a sneak preview of what you plan on covering or helping people like learn through this process.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys, for having me on. This is going to be exciting. There's a lot of really cool topics that I'm super excited about. I love seeing the light bulb go off in people's minds when they learn something, when they put together a puzzle piece that wasn't there before, and they can put it all together, and just seeing that light bulb go off and knowing that it's going to change someone's life forever. And I think a lot of us, we're health coaches for that reason, because we can do that in so many different categories. But my background's food, nutrition, and dietetics. But as most of you guys know who went to school or studied something, is that most of my education and learning really came from application. I competed for 4 years nationally in bodybuilding. What I wanted to do was learn how to get the most out of my body in order to do this. And if those of you who understand bodybuilding is not necessarily a drug-free sport. But I wanted to prove that I could do it as a testosterone-free or drug-free athlete, which means that your nutrition needs to be even more dialed in. I later found out that the only person that was important to was me and my mom. But anyway, as we moved forward, I had 23 years of counseling and helping people with their nutrition. So on-the-job training has really showed me a lot of different people and a lot of different applications in how we use nutrition and exercise, and to be able to see how the body adjusts. One of the things that happened about 10 years ago was I got extremely frustrated with people not following nutrition, right? Because people would come to the gym and they were already doing something. They weren't going to readjust their nutrition because what they wanted to do is they just wanted to start exercising. So what I did was I opened up a boot camp studio. And the whole idea was that I want people to ask for help. I'm not going to require that they start a nutrition program when they start an exercise program, but I'm going to have them ask for help. And the best way to do that is we're going to open up a studio that's going to burn 1,000 calories off of you. And then when you realize that you plateau at some point, you're going to ask for help. And that's what would happen. People would come to us and they'd say, I've been going for 4 weeks and I'm actually heavier than when I started. But one of the things that happens when you start exercising, you create a stimulus for the muscle, and then you add nutrients to your body. And in most cases, when people start our program, they're getting a higher level of protein than what they're used to getting, especially ladies. And they start to gain muscle mass, which is something that's really important. You actually need that to help increase your metabolism and get your body rolling and get the muscles in alignment and really help your body out. So that was something that worked great, but it still wasn't simple. It still wasn't easy. So we were introduced to this program, and we started seeing just really amazing results with our clients. I mean, almost immediately. So it was simple. It was like, wow, we don't have to get into super detail to help our clients start to really see amazing results. And then in addition with the exercise, they were seeing phenomenal results. I love the topic, Brad, of body composition. Body composition is so critical because the measurements in your food journaling do not lie. So if you really want to figure out your body, one of the movements that we have to get into is to make sure that we do that. Let me give you an example of that. If you are gaining lean body mass at the same rate that you're losing body fat, it's normal for your body to stay exactly the same in its weight. We want to take a look at body composition. If you stayed the same weight but lost 4 inches off your waist, I think we'd be pretty happy with that. And that's typically what we see. So the measurements in the food journal, and we take variables away. And that's what we're going to learn in the next couple of weeks, is how to take variables in your program and start learning so that we can program you literally like a robot. Or better yet, you're going to be able to program yourself. It's not about us telling anybody what to do, but when you have that light bulb goes off and you can understand that, you can see the matrix. I like to call it the matrix. But if you remember the movie The Matrix, when the lead character figures it out, everything is so much easier. In fact, he doesn't even have to pay attention to it's an action scene and the guy's punching at him, and he can just block and dodge bullets and everything because he sees the matrix coming at him. He knows exactly what it looks like, and it's just simple. That's how I see nutrition. And I know we can do that for all of the people on this call too, because it's such a critical part of making sure that you're successful for a lifetime and not just for a short period.
Casey, I love that. And I'm so excited to learn even more from you on this topic. I've talked with you. I mean, we've been good friends for years now. I don't think you've ever explained it that good. And that's exactly what we want people. We want people to feel like they're in the matrix, I guess, is what we want them to feel like. And so I'm really excited for this. And there's a few questions in the chat here. Some people are asking, like, I was told I'm not supposed to exercise about this much. There's always going to be generic advice out there. What we're going to cover during this process is going to be specific. So we hope that you, by the end of this time, not only have you changed your body composition, not only have you moved forward in your health, but that your knowledge and understanding. Because it's honestly, Casey, one of the reasons why I also know why you chose this program is because it's easily tweakable. Like, you've told me what it was like to help people when it was just nutrition plans. Man, it's like some slicing and dicing and all over the place. And man, sometimes, if it's even possible for people to actually do that amount of work, you're working with a lot of variables. With this, it's so easy to make the adjustments with people, and the nutrition is rock solid. So, Casey, thank you for that tonight. I'm so excited for people to learn from you, because just if they can get a smidge of what I've learned from you over the years, they will be so blessed by the end of this process. And that's part of the other reason we want people to be able to have this information and be able to have that same predictable information. So to wrap up tonight, this is all the information. Many of you are like, yes, I just wanted to know what we were going to be covering during this focus group. Some of you are on here learning to find out if this is a fit for you. And I want to encourage you that it is. Part of my story is I watched my family for 4 years as they lose that 2,000 pounds, and I put on weight. I got unhealthier. I wish I wouldn't have waited that long, but we all have our own journeys. So if you're here tonight wondering if this is a fit for you, this focus group might be a great place for you to start your process of your journey and your education. Jump in with us. Get going on that. So the other part about that is this is our preparation call, or this is our information call. Our preparation call is because our official 30 days are going to start on June 5th. So what is very vitally important and scientifically based is how well you prepare for anything that you do. So we're giving you a whole prep week. We chose not to start on a holiday week, and we chose to give you a holiday week to get fully prepared. If you're rocking it right now, keep on going right now. Don't even stop. But if you're needing to prepare for this right now, take a week, get everything going. So here's what to be doing right now and what you'll need to cover during this process is, one, if you haven't yet, download the Habits of Health dashboard app on your phone. It's a app that goes along with our program. It's going to help you start tracking your nutrition, water intake, sleep, mood, as much stuff as you want. But through this process, as you are tracking, not only does tracking increase your rate of success, but as we go into the information here, you're going to be able to look into the stuff that Casey's talking about during this process. And you'll be able to see in real time what your body's intaking nutritionally. So download that. I'm just making sure. Don, will you watch the chat for me just so we can make sure we answer any questions as we wrap up here? So one, download the app. All of this stuff will be on the preparation call. Two is prepare your starting information. We're not relying on the scale anymore. So we're going to encourage everyone that's going to do this with us, go get a body composition test. We will cover some more information on our call. There's a few places you can go to do that. But Casey, you've informed me that InBody is a body composition test that most people can get at any nutrition store, or most gyms can do it, or you can even do a pinch test. But either way, get a body composition test so you know real life what's actually going on in your body and what the breakdown is. And it's all just current reality. At the very least, if you're not going to get that done, at least get measurements done, because that'll even still prove out during the process. Like, your measurement will give you information on that. The other thing is, figure out what nutrition plan you're going to do. Talk to your health coach. We'll be covering more of this on Monday, like the different nutrition plans, as we prepare to kind of break that down and understanding nutrition during our first week. But figure out your plan that works for you. Many of you know what it is. Some of you are new to this information, and you guys are going to need to find out more and talk with your coach. The other thing is going to be invite family and friends to this as well. Kristen's story, Amber's story, it all played a role because they knew someone in here. Another science thing is the largest factor in your own personal health. You would think it'd be your genetics. You would think it would be your family, but it's actually the people you spend the most time with. That has an overbearingly amount of impact on your success and your health and everything else that you do. So Again, we'll cover some more stats on that, but invite people that you want to join in this process with you. And then stay connected with your coach. Connect with your coach, share your goals, write down goals. There is a huge difference, like almost like a 70% difference of success rate on people that not only write down their goals, but share their goals with other people. So that's everything that we're going to be doing. The prep video will be on Sunday. Watch for it, and then just kind of dive in at your own pace, and your health coach will be working with you on this a little bit more than what they normally do, and just have some fun in this process. So Dawn, as we wrap up here tonight, I'm super stoked for this. Anything else from the chat or anything else you want to add here to finish up here?
I am too. I'm so excited. These, I swear, have been getting more and more energy, more and more exciting each and every time we do them. No, the only question in the chat was if you could access the Habits of Health dashboard and use that app from a computer. And I think you can access the dashboard from online. Right, Brad? I'm pretty sure that you can.
I'm always on the go, so I'm always using my phone, but I believe you can.
Me too.
I believe you can.
Me too.
Yeah. And,
but I think.
Go ahead.
No, I just think you can use it from a tablet, a phone, or your desktop if you want to. So make it pretty accessible for everybody, and just get it downloaded and started using it, over the next week or so as we're prepping. And really, other than that, Brad, you hit the nail on the head. Just download that, get started using it. If you can, get your body composition tests done, take your measurements, but most importantly, reach out to your health coach. They're going to be the person walking alongside you. They're going to be the person guiding you back to these tools. If you missed something tonight on the call, just reach out. Your health coach will be able to send you in the right direction. Make sure that the nutrition plan that you're on is the best one for your goals. That's the most important thing. And then, just really, like Amber walked us through, sitting down and thinking about what you want to accomplish in 30 days, but then also knowing that that's going to go beyond that. That's going to be 60 days, 90 days. Really, what do you want to have happen in your health, this summer, and as you're looking at, next year, because health is ever evolving.
And that's something else we'll cover during this process, Don. Like, actually what Amber guided us through is something that's actually vital. Most people will focus on getting away from something. A fundamental improvement in your health and accomplishing your goals is actually focusing on where you want to be. So as Amber was guiding us, I was clearly looking at where I want to be at next in my health. And that's a big component of success. So here's the last couple things that I would answer. So a few people have questions in the chat. Is one, the app is called so it's HOH dashboard, which stands for Habits of Health. That's what you'll see, the Take Shape for Life symbol in there. You can download it. If you type in HOH dashboard, it should be the first one that comes up. These calls will be every Sunday. They'll be posted probably, I think we're aiming for 5 p.m. so that you guys can start your week or catch it Monday or have all week long. We're going to post them every week during the 30 days, and we're going to break it down 1 week topic at a time. It should be one short phone call, and as well as plugging into our weekly Habits of Health call that we have anyways, during our company's time. The other thing I would say is if you're new to the Facebook groups, or just double check, make sure you change the notifications to get all notifications. You don't want to miss anything in the Facebook groups during this process. So dive fully in on that. And then the last thing I would say is be prepared to post a lot. Some of you guys are lurkers. You guys just have to watch everyone else. But your success is directly engaged to the interaction you have. But also there's another thing, like Kristen was saying, and what Amber was saying, you learn from watching other people. So it's not just about you, it's about what we get with this information and how we all work it out for ourselves, because we're all more alike than we are different. So that's what I got for you guys right now. We're giving you a whole week and a half to prepare. So the call we posted Sunday. Now you guys know what to start getting prepared. If you're already rocking it, keep going. If you're like ready, or if you're like waiting to get prepared, now you have everything you need to know, or you have everything you need to know to get fully ready as we kick off on June 5th. So Dom, anything else you want to add in here as we wrap up?
Nope, just get ready. I'm ready to focus, Brad. I don't know about you, but I'm gonna get started like tomorrow and just kind of get using the app and working through that. And I am super stoked for our prep video on Sunday.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you all. Look forward to seeing you all in the group, and have a great time. And thanks for being here tonight.
Yep. Have a great evening, everyone.